What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report. Welcome back to a brand new video where we talk all things Miami Heat basketball. And as promised for you guys, I do have the defensive game plan, my 5 keys to the defensive game plan in this video for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. You guys absolutely killed the last one. A lot of y'all loved it. And yeah, this is the defensive part of the game plan. So make sure you guys, if you guys are new to the video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys thought about the last video and what you guys think about our defensive game plan against the Bucks, because I know this is one of the main parts. You know, I know our offense needs to be clicking on all cylinders, but the Bucks have a lot of weapons that we're gonna have to try to stop. So if you guys are new to the channel, man, hit that subscribe button. We post almost daily bangers on this video, sometimes even twice a day. So on this channel, I mean, and all Heat related. So if you guys are Heat fans and non-Heat fans, this is a place for you guys too, if you guys are interested about the Miami Heat. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, and as usual, drop a like, because that really helps out the channel. So let's get right into it, man. Like I did for the offensive game plan, I'm going to be doing 5 keys for the defensive game plan, and the first key is probably the biggest one of them all. It's contain Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is a very great player. He's a top 10 player. Some may even say he's a top 5 player. I don't know where I'd put him yet, because I haven't really thought about, you know, ranking players or anything like that, but he's definitely top 10. And he's a force. He's a really big force of nature. He's a freak athlete. That's why he's called the Greek Freak. He's going to have to be contained. And whether it's by Bam, whether it's by the wall, whether it's by anything, Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be the main priority for Eric Spoelstra in his coaching game plan. There's no way that with the success that we had last year in defending him, he's going to go away from that. Expect the wall to be back. Expect Bam as his main defender, flanked by Jimmy and Ariza, or Jimmy and Duncan, or whoever. The wall is going to be there. Obviously, the pros to this wall is that it stops Giannis from getting to the basket, which is what his main priority is. But it does open up some space for the other shooters. So we're going to have to really work and closing out hard, stunting on shooters. A lot of these things we're gonna have to work on, because if we fall asleep on a corner shooter, they could torch us. But it's kind of like pick your poison. Would you rather have Giannis go to the basket, like stop Giannis and make the others beat you, or would you rather have Giannis beat you and force, you know, the others into contested threes? I would honestly like to see a lot more possessions where Bam and Giannis are kind of, you know, isolating on each other, because I do think that Bam, I think Bam is an amazing defender, and I think he is probably the best in the league at at guarding Giannis. And because I don't want to be disrespectful to 2-time MVP, he's not gonna get stopped. He's gonna have to get contained, right? I think Bam is the best in the league at doing that. So I think we last year gave him a lot of help, and I don't think he needed as much help as we gave him, to be honest. You know, he was actually doing a lot. He was doing fine basically without sending, you know, double teams at Giannis. But maybe that is part of the game plan. I'm just worried that the shooters might beat us if we make it too obvious. But we're gonna have to mix it up. We're gonna have to mix a lot of things up. I would much rather prefer if we dared him to shoot the jumpers. I know it fell against the Nets, but that was in a regular season game, and the Nets, like, Blake Griffin was in the paint, bro. Like, he was not within 2 feet of Giannis. Like, there's no way you're giving him that much space. Like, I know it's Giannis, but he's gonna drill shots that are practice jumpers. So I'm not saying don't put a hand up or like completely ignore him. You can sag off a little bit, dare him to shoot, which Jimmy is especially good at daring people to shoot. If you guys have watched Jimmy Butler over the years, he is a very high IQ defender. So is Andre, so is Trevor, and so is Bam. So I would much rather have him shooting threes that are, you know, fairly open, but are still contested lately, rather than him, you know, driving to the lane or making a play, because I don't trust his mechanics down the stretch. I know he hit those in the regular season sometimes, but in the playoffs it's just different pressure, man. It's different intensity, and I have to believe it. I have to see it to believe it, that his mechanics can hold up in a crunch playoff series against a team that beat you last year. I really have to see it. So Yeah, containing Giannis is the biggest priority of them all. There should be no surprise for that. The second biggest priority is to limit transition opportunities. This also kind of connects to the first one because it is about, because Giannis is going to bring the ball up for them off of, a missed shot from us. We're going to have to limit transition opportunities because it goes back to what I talked about last video where I talked about the pace of the game. The Bucks want to play fast and we want to play slow. So if we allow them to run in transition, that suits their pace more than ours. So we have to make sure we stop the ball and we have to make sure that we limit them in transition. Which I think we're one of the top teams in transition defense, so we should be okay. But it's a different challenge when we're dealing with one of the best transition players in the NBA, and we really have to lock in on him. So yeah, limiting transition. It's not only him. There's gonna be instances when Jrue Holiday has the ball, he's bringing it up, or Chris Middleton is bringing it up. We have to limit transition opportunities. It's pretty simple. Because, like I said, the pace of the game. And you just don't want to give up easy buckets. You want to set the tone. So, yeah, limiting transition opportunities is the second biggest key, in my opinion. Next, we have crashing the defensive glass and preventing offensive rebounds. We're almost dead last in rebounding, so this is kind of concerning to me. Especially, Giannis is one of the best rebounders. I know Brook Lopez wasn't really looked at as a great rebounder when he started off his career. He was averaging like 3 rebounds a game, but he's still a very competent rebounder. And if you give him he's a tall player, so if you give him like bunnies to grab out of the air, he'll grab it. So we have to make sure that we lock in on that. We have to make sure that off of a missed shot, we have several people crashing the glass. We're not a team that likes to run in transition a lot. Sometimes we do, but I think it's mainly because of our rebounding issues. We need to have a lot of people crashing the glass to prevent offensive rebounds. And as you guys know, offensive rebounds lead to second chance points, which gives them another opportunity to score. We saw it in the Lakers Warriors game. The amount of times that the Lakers got their own miss and kicked it back to it for a 3, or the amount of times that the Lakers got the rebound or grabbed the ball out of a turnover and it led to a 3. Like, these are all the little things that contribute to a team winning. So for us to crash the defensive glass is going to be a very, very big priority for us. I'm not too worried about the offensive glass. If we miss a shot, to get back, because you want to stop them in transition. We can't have all these players try to grab rebounds on the offensive end while Giannis is running at full speed, trying to dunk the ball. So yeah, we can't do all that. But on the defensive glass though, gotta be locked in. The fourth key is limit their bench points. Bryn Forbes and Bobby Portis absolutely killed us last game. And that's going to be Dwayne Dedmon, and I don't know who's going to be on Bryn Forbes. I would say Iguodala is our best defender off the bench, but he might try to put Iguodala on PJ Tucker. It's probably going to be Tyler. I think it's probably going to be Tyler. I'm not really too sure who's going to be on Bryn Forbes, but whoever's on Bryn Forbes is going to have to step up, because he is a guy that can, if he gets hot, he can knock those shots down, man. He's a very, very good player. Bryn Forbes is a guy that I've been watching for a long time, and he's a guy that if you give him the space, and if he sees a couple go in, it's over, because he's gonna rattle them off consecutively like he did against us. He had like over 20 points when we played the Bucks recently. So Bryn Forbes is gonna have to be contained. And then I think the last key that I did write down is to force them to turn the ball over. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. You could replace it with something else if you wanted to. But yeah, forcing them to turn the ball over is very important. I think we're good at that. We're going to have active hands if Giannis is trying to drive. Iggy is especially good at that. He's really good at stripping the ball. He's one of the best, stealers. I don't know what the word for that is. Whoever's like the people who steal the ball, he's one of the best in the business at it. He can rip the ball out of anyone's hands. He's very good at anticipating if a player is driving. His hands are one of the best in the league as far as on the defensive end. He is very, very adept at that, man. So do not let his age fool you, because he will if you make it too predictable for him, he is one of the smartest players in NBA history, and he can read a pass like that. So Iggy is going to be huge, absolutely huge for that. And yeah, man, Iggy, Trevor, Bam, all gonna have to take turns on Giannis sometimes. Even Jimmy. If Jimmy switched on to Giannis, I expect Jimmy to back him all the way up to the 3-point line while Giannis is trying to post him up. Dare Giannis to shoot the ball because that's what he did last year, and force him to beat you from there. Obviously Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton are gonna have to be contained as well. A lot of people are asking, is Drew Holiday the difference for the Bucks? Could he be the difference? Could he be the reason they win the series? I think Drew Holiday is a very good NBA player. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. His value will be on the defensive end in late games, because last time Jimmy Butler, I remember in game 1 particularly, had 40, but he had like 20 down the stretch. He had like 20 in the third and fourth. The man was going off, and you know why? The defensive player of the year didn't want to guard him. And I mean, I'm not throwing shade at Giannis. He's not, a guy that you're gonna say, get me a stop on a dude like that. He's not a guy who's gonna lock in on an individual defender. The reason he got the Defensive Player of the Year award was because he is one of the best help defenders in NBA history. He's one of the best help defenders in NBA history. So they had like George Hill on Jimmy or Chris Middleton on Jimmy. And Chris Middleton's a fine defender. Chris Middleton is a fine defender, but it's when you're hot, you need one of the best in the business, and they have Drew Holiday for that. So he's going to be their X factor. He's going to be the guy that they put on Jimmy if they need to stop. And I'm not sure off the top of my head what Jimmy's numbers are against Drew Holiday, but almost a lot of people have struggled against him, man. A lot of people have struggled against him. So I would say that Jimmy should be not fine, but he should be comfortable because he's bigger. So he could try to body him up or something like that, but I don't know. Drew Holiday is an elite defender, and he's going to have to be, he's going to be one of their biggest X factors. For me, the biggest X factor of the Miami Heat is the bench. Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic. I'm putting them two as like one because they're our bench basically as far as scoring the ball. I know Dwayne Dedmon gets his 8 points. I know Iguodala can occasionally hit his threes, but as far as bench scoring, it's these two. Tyler and Goran are our bench. I expect us to run a 9-man rotation. Some probably even 10 though. I wouldn't be surprised if we run a 10-man rotation, but obviously we have the regular starters: Nunn, Robinson, Jimmy, Trevor, Bam. Off the bench, Goran, Tyler, Andre, Dwayne Dedmon. But I wouldn't be surprised if we put Nemanja Bjelica at the 4, KZ at the 4 for defensive purposes, Nemanja for offensive purposes. We can rotate between those two for a 10th man if we need. K Nunn, I don't even talk about K Nunn. Shout out to one of my guys in the comments for reminding me about K Nunn. He said, don't forget about K Nunn. Listen, bro, I'm not forgetting about K Nunn. It completely slipped my mind when I was talking about the offensive game plan. But he is one of the biggest X factors as well. So shout out to K Nunn, because the reason I didn't really mention K Nunn was because he is one of the most consistent players on the team. I know K Nunn is going to show up no matter what. He rarely has an off night. He gives us. I always value players that give you, give me my 15 points per game. Do not give me 19 and then give me 9, right? I don't want you to be inconsistent. If you're going to be on my team, if you're going to be, a contributor, at least be consistent in what you're doing. So I prefer K Nunn giving me 15, 15, 15, 15, rather than him giving me 19, 9, 8, 18, all that is like up and down, up and down. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. But the reason why K Nunn is so valuable to this team is that you basically know what you're getting from him every night. Like, you're getting his 15 points per game every night. Sometimes he can even go higher than 15 if he needs to. Like he did against the Bucks, he went for 31. So K Nunn is one of the most consistent players maybe in the league, but certainly on this team. So I didn't really bring him up because it was just like a no-brainer that he would show up in the playoffs. But he is a guy that I didn't even think about because he did not play last year. Well, he did, but he wasn't the same Kendrick Nunn that he is right now. He was coming off of COVID. Right now, Kendrick Nunn has a chance to, he's gonna play his best playoffs, and he can be our X factor. He can be our X factor because we did not really use him, play him at his full strength against the Bucks or the Celtics or the Lakers. I don't even think he played against the Celtics. I know he did not play against the Bucks until like game 4. So yeah, K Nunn, Kane Nunn is going to be healthy and he's going to be consistent. So shout out to Kane Nunn. But that's probably gonna be for me, guys. It was pretty. I think it was a pretty good, breakdown of our defense on the Bucks. My 5 keys to slowing down the Bucks. I don't want to say stop the Bucks, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We are the 6th seed after all, so we are the underdog. Just remember that we are the underdog. So I'll save my talking if we win the series. But until then, man, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys leave a like. If you guys are new to the community, subscribe, man. It really helps out the channel, you guys. And yeah, like I said, I'm dropping daily bangers, basically, sometimes even twice a day about the Heat. So if Miami Heat is your thing, this is your channel for you. So make sure y'all join the community, man. I'll see y'all later as always, man. Peace.